I've been asked to talk about the gastroesophageal reflux disease. GIRD is one of the very common conditions which we are dealing in our special clinic. The meaning of the GRD, the gastroesophageal reflux disease, at the lower end of the food pipe, the patient is having a regurgitation. Because of the gastric contents, they come into the lower end of the esophagus, and then this lower end of the esophagus means that the food pipe, that there will be some ulceration and there will be some burning. The patient will be having a retroesternal burning. So the main symptoms is that the patient will be having a retroesternal burning, and patient may be having sometimes feel the regurgitation of the food contents into the mouth also. This is one of the common things that the patient is having a presentation. But what we are having in our special clinics, these are not the simple cases of the GRD. Because if the patient is having a simple GRD, then the patient is taking from the counter the PPI, which are very freely available, and the patient get relief within 4 to 5 weeks. But those patients who are not getting that proper relief, they are coming to us. So what we are managing, these are the cases of the GRD who are having some resistance to the PPI, or they may be having some other kind of complication. So our aim is that once the patient is having a history of regurgitation of the food into the food pipe, or if the patient is having a retroesternal burning, which is at least more than twice a week, and that is persistent for at least 2 months, then that is the case where we suspect the GRD. So when we are having a patient of the GRD in our special clinic, we are having the 3 points of the concern. Number one is that if the patient is having any alarm symptoms. Alarming symptoms means if the patient is having a upper GI bleeding, patient is having a dysphagia, that is a difficulty in swallowing, patient is having a unusual weight loss, patient is having a history of the cancer in the family, patient is having an elderly person. So in those cases, these are the patient having a alarming symptoms. These patients require immediate diagnostic facilities should be done in these cases. Otherwise, in case of the GRD diagnosis usually made on the basis of the history. If the patient is having history, and then you just give a trial of the PPI, and the 4 weeks trial of the PPI will be having a completely relief from the symptoms. So that is usually we make a very simple diagnosis of the GRD. But we don't need the special investigations in such cases of the simple cases of the GRD. But if the patient is having these alarming symptoms, then naturally the patient should be put toward the investigation. And among the investigation, the commonest investigation is the upper GI endoscopy. And the upper GI endoscopy is very specific. It is not having very sensitive, but it is very specific. And the other advantage of the upper GI endoscopy are that we make the diagnosis of the GRD, we make the diagnosis of the esophagitis, which is a part of the GRD, we make the diagnosis of strictures, if the patient is having an unusual ulcer, patient is having any growth. So all these things can be seen. And if we suspect any cancer or any malignant thing or a variety of esophagus, then for the histopathology we can take the biopsy also. So these are the few advantages of this upper GI endoscopy, but this is a bit costly, and also this is one of the invasive procedures. But for those cases where the patient is not responding to the PPI, these are the cases where we are having a doubtful diagnosis. So in those cases we recommend a 24-hour pH monitoring in the lower end of the esophagus. There are 2 methods for that. One is that we just having a catheter being passed through the nose, and then we are having this continuous monitoring of the pH of the lower end of the esophagus, which may be for 24 hours. But the other method is that there is wireless capsule pH monitoring. A capsule is put by endoscope in the lower end of the esophagus, and then we are doing this pH monitoring. So these are the advantage of these pH monitoring, that we can differentiate whether the patient is having a typical GRD with acid reflux, or the patient is having only the symptoms, but there is no acid reflux, there may be non-acid reflux and the other things. The third thing is that when the patient is not responding to the PPI, then we think of the possibility of some motility disorders, and for that this impedance test is also done. So this pH this lower esophageal impedance test is also useful for differentiating the other causes of the symptoms suggestive of the GRD. But now I will like to tell something about the management, because this was just a presentation. Then the other unusual symptoms. Sometimes the patient is having a disease of the respiratory system. Patient is having a disease of the teeth. Patient is having a otitis media, like disease of the throat, the ear, especially in the young persons. So this is the cause may be GRD. So if young person is having a asthma, then we think possibility of this GRD. And young child is having a otitis media, we think of the possibility of the GRD. Similarly, if the patient is having a unusual decaying of the teeth or the teeth problem, then we can think of the possibility of it. So in all these conditions, when the patient is not having a specific GID symptoms, but the patient is having a non-GI symptoms, there may be a strong suspicion of GRD, and that patient must be investigated for that. So few things about this presentation. The patient may have a GI symptoms, very typical GI symptoms like rectal burning, regurgitation of food into the food pipe. This is a very typical presentation. Patient is having a proper response to the PPI, that is a normal thing. But have unusual symptoms like the patient is having bronchial asthma, laryngitis, pharyngitis, these are the things, teeth problem, ear problem, that is a unusual non-GI symptoms of the GRD. Third thing is that when the patient is suspected to have a complication, like the patient is having a unusual GI bleeding, loss of weight, patient is having dysphagia. So these things suggest the patient may be having a GRD with complication. So long-standing GRD may be having this complication. After that, I just describe about the few investigations which are available, like GI endoscopy, pH monitoring, and this impedance test under the esophagus. Now about the management, how we manage this because if the patient is having a simple GRD, then the thing is that you just have a lifestyle changes. Because in most of the cases GRD is also associated with obesity, and we are having an increasing prevalence of the obesity, and that is the reason that during last decade we are having a very significant increase in the prevalence of the GRD. The reason is that because the obesity is increasing, the GRD symptoms also increase. In one study in Delhi in a private school, they found that every fourth child was obese. So that is showing a very alarming situation that we are having a gradually increased prevalence of obesity, and obesity is one of the risk factors for the GRD. So then lifestyle modification, that is the one thing. If the patient is a smoker, you must stop the smoking. If the patient is obese, then the weight reduction should be done. And then the thing, there are certain food items which can cause this symptoms of the GRD, and especially the fatty food, fried food, and the food which is containing this all these junk food, and this cold drinks and all these things. Food containing the preparation of the tomato, onion, these are the things which should be avoided. And in our practice, we have seen if the patient is having a proper restriction of all these exacerbating or all these precipitating food items, the patient is getting a proper relief. So the lifestyle changes and the lifestyle modification is the hallmark of the management of the GRD. The second thing is that the patient should take the food and the water separately, so that the intragastric pressure will not be increased. And second, the patient should take the food in small amounts. So we always advise, the first thing is that the change in the food, and the patient should avoid all those food items which are known to increase the symptoms of this GRD, and the are supposed to increase the acid production. That is the first thing. And after that, the patient should be asked that just to take the food, especially the dinner, 3 hours before the sleep. Some patients are having a symptoms during sleep. They are having a regurgitation of the food during sleep. So in those cases, this is very, very effective if they avoid to take the food immediately before the sleep. If they take the food, dinner, 3 hours before the going to the sleep, that is one thing. Second thing is that if they raise the head end of their bed by 6 inches, they just put any brick or anything, this 6 inch increase of the head end side of the bed is also having a very quite effective impact. And then this patient should be avoided to take the cold drinks and coffee and all these things, especially in the dinner. So the patient will get a relief. About the medicines, if the patient is having a very mild thing, then the antacid is also effective. Patient may have the antacid will be having an effect for the 3-4 hours. The second thing is that the H2 antagonist because this ranitidine and famotidine, these are drugs which are now we are having a patient that we don't prescribe these medicine. But these medicines are equally effective as the PPI, and they are having a less side effects in comparison to the PPI. So this ranitidine and famotidine because they are having a shorter duration of action, so they have to be taken frequently. That is the only thing. Otherwise, they are also having a quite effective. I know so many patients who are a chronic case of the GRD, and by just taking the ranitidine off and on demand, they are having a complete control of their symptoms. So we must try first antacid, then we should try the H2 antagonist, and then the third option is the PPI. So because the PPI is usually having an effect within 4 hours, 4 weeks. The 4 weeks treatment is effective for the control of the symptoms and also for the healing of the esophagitis. But if the patient is not having any response to this, then we should try to find out what may be any other reason. Suppose the patient may not be having a compliance to the food restriction. Patient may be taking certain drugs. There are certain drugs which causes the GRD. There are certain drugs which causes the relaxation of the lower end of the food pipe, that is the LES. And because of that, these are the drugs which are used in the psychiatry, in the cardiology clinic, and in other So these drugs, they also relax this lower end of the esophagus, and they causes the increase of the GRD. There are certain drugs like NSAID, the drugs which are used for the arthritis and all these things. They are having a direct effect over the gastric mucosa, lower end of the esophagus, or esophagus mucosa. So there are certain drugs which are. So if the patient is taking these offending drugs, then patient will not be having an effective response to the PPI. So that is the reason that we should take a thorough history of the patient, so that we may know that these symptoms are because of the certain food items or are because of this the drugs. So these drugs should be avoided, these food items should be restricted, and then the patient will be having a response to this PPI. The PPI are not as safe as we are thinking. They are do so many things with the PPI. This PPI, if they are taking on a long-term basis, they causes a deficiency of various nutrients like magnesium, calcium, proteins, and all these things like vitamin B12, which is very, very essential thing. So long-term PPI also having a side effects. There are the things like certain infection like Clostridium difficile, very acute and chronic conditions which is very difficult to treat may also be having cases those who are taking this PPI on a long-term basis. So the PPI are also having so many things which are there. So these are not as safe as So PPI should be given for a restricted period, and then the patient should not be asked to continue as and when the patient is taking. If the patient is not taking not having a response to this so in the management, the first thing is the lifestyle modification. Then the second thing is of these drugs like antacid, H2 antagonist, then the PPI. And if the patient is not having a proper response to these drugs, then we have to review our diagnosis to find out what may be the other causes. like there may be any RD in there may be the condition where there is patient is having a symptoms typical of the GRD, but patient is actually not having GRD. So we have to find out this condition also. Certain cases of the GRD with a long standing for 5 years or 10 years, they are not having a proper response to the PPI. These are the cases which are referred for the surgeon. There are various surgical options are available just to control the GRD symptoms, to control the obesity, and in those cases we are dependent over this surgical intervention. But this surgical option is required in very few cases, and in the end if the patient is not having a response, and also if the patient is having the surgical option, the patient should think that there are certain complications of all the surgical intervention also. Sometimes the patient may remain symptomatic even after the surgery. So we have to take into consideration all these things. Just to summarize, I will say that this GRD is becoming a common disease nowadays because of the increased obesity, because of our changing lifestyle, use of this junk foods, use of the cold drinks and other things like that. And the patient is maybe easily diagnosed on the basis of the clinical history. Patient may have a proper response to the antacids or the PPI for the 4 to 8 weeks. But certain cases, certain conditions, patient is having a complication, there we put the patient to the special investigation. And the management is very simple. First is the lifestyle modification. There is a simple antacid, acid suppressant like H2 antagonist, PPI, and those cases who are refractory to all these things, very difficult to manage, patient is having a long standing for 5 to 10 years at least, then the surgical option is also available.